Hi, I'm Terry, and I want to go to space, but I'm going to need the help from my friends and new people I meet along the way. I'm going to need to grab as much as I can of turbo junk so I can upgrade my car and achieve my goals. Can I run, glide, and drive my way into space and become the talk of the town? I completed all 31 achievements, and welcome to Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip. I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I talk to a man named Gronny. He asks if I'm looking for a job. I say to him all I want is to get a car and drive to space. Then I'm called up to the front desk. Gronny says he enjoyed our talk and gives me his number. I walk over to the front desk and talk to the lady. She asks me what kind of job I'm looking for, and I say anything that gets me a car. She says someone in the building is recruiting taxi couriers, and if I would be interested. I say as long as it gets me a car. I follow her down the hallway and into the office to the employer. The employer asks me a few questions, and all I'm here for is the car. The employer is kind of confused. So you don't want money and just the car? And I say yes. Then the employer says congratulations and gives me the job.
Achievement unlocked.
I leave the job application center and walk outside to see my shiny new yellow taxi. I jump inside and take her for a spin. I drive down to the soccer fields where I see a group of kids wanting to play soccer. We split into teams of 2 and the game begins. I kick the orange ball around and manage to score a goal. As the game goes on, I get better and better, and at the final whistle, I've scored 6 goals.
Achievement unlocked.
The kids are impressed on how many goals I've scored, and they tell me about some junk that they've buried. I say thank you and head back out on my adventure. Out the front of the building, I find some turbo junk on a rock. I'm going to have to find more of these so I can upgrade my car. I drive around searching for turbo junk and find a bunch of it everywhere. I also find a pipe lying on the ground. I pull out my phone and call Gronny. I tell him I got the car.
Achievement unlocked.
And then I let him go. I find some more turbo junk.
Achievement unlocked.
I break some boxes and garbage that has money inside. And then I find 2 truckers inside of a truck. I tell them I used to aspire to be a trucker, but now I have bigger plans. I ask them if they've seen any turbo junk, and they say no, but for 50 money, they'll tell me where they buried his treasure. His mate replies, don't do it, but that's what I'm looking for. I'll come back when I have the money. A little past the truckers, I find a shovel sitting in some dirt, and I start digging up money from the ground.
Achievement unlocked.
I get back into my car and drive around. I head to the hotel where there's some land behind, where I can dig up and pull up some turbo junk, and I find more money buried in the ground. I see a blue page flying around, but I can't grab it, so I decide to go to the back of the hotel and talk to the yoga instructor. I ask if he has any junk, and he says he wouldn't want to bear it on me, but again, that's what I'm collecting. I ask him if he can teach me some yoga, and he says to follow his instructions. I copy his poses and everything he does.
Achievement unlocked.
He turns around and says he likes my determination, and then I ask him if he wants to get rid of his junk. He tells me he's buried his possessions, and he marks it on the map for me. I find some more money in the flower pots and junk lying around everywhere. Then I go to the spot marked on the map and find junk buried in the sand. I break open the capsule and junk comes flying out. I get back in my car and head back to the truckers and give him 50 money. He tells me where he's buried his junk and he marks it on my map, and it's somewhere in the desert. While I'm here, I'll go visit the car shop. I go over and talk to the owner of the shop, and they ask if I'm ready to start my job. I say yes, but I really mean no. I tell them all I want to do is go faster, and they say they can help me on that, but I'm gonna need to bring some more material. I need to bring 150 turbo junk to make the car faster. Lucky for me, I've collected 336 junk, so I hand them over and I get 2 turbo upgrades for my car.
Achievement unlocked.
I get back in my car and leave, and test out the new turbos, and wow, it's fast. My next stop is to go visit Junket with Jack, to see what he has for sale. Once inside, there are a few items that I'm interested in, but I don't have enough money. I go back on the search for more turbo junk and some more money. While cruising around, I find a nice park with a lot of statues in it, and I accidentally get pricked by a cactus.
Achievement unlocked.
Just outside the park, I find the mayor giving a speech. He talks about the Sky Tower that's built, and you can't even see the top. After his speech, I go up to him and ask him a few questions, like why is there a road on the side of the tower? He says it's to alleviate traffic, because there's a lot of accidents in this town, but he wouldn't advise driving on it. And then he says that's all the time he's got, and he inflates and floats away.
Achievement unlocked.
I go back for my search for turbo junk and go to the other places marked on my map to find canisters of junk. Next, I make my way over to the beach where I find a person sunbaking and it looks like they're about to catch on fire. I ask him if he's alright and he says he's fine and he would know if he was going to catch on fire. I tell him he should probably get out of the sun, but he says he's not giving up his spot. I leave the burning man alone and head into the beach house. I ask the owner of the beach house if I can have some fries. Then I tell him he should sell something new, since beach fries are the only thing on your menu. We spitball a few ideas and we come up with bug buns. He says I should go collect 4 kinds of bugs, so off I go to hunt some bugs. I go back to check on Burning Bernie, and now he's on fire. I ask if he's still alive, and he tells me to mind my own business, but I tell him his face is on fire, but he tells me to leave him alone. As I'm looking for bugs, I come across a friend who lives in the same apartment building. He asks me how much money I have, and I tell him I have 639, and he's got 501. I ask him how he got his money, and he says he works with his dad. I ask what his dad does, and he says he sells stolen cars. He says once the car is sold, the car is no longer stolen. Good point. After our little chat, I go back to Junket with Jack and go buy the net and collect these bugs. I find my first bug in the long grass near the beach house, and I can see Burning Bernie really flaming up over there. I go check on him, and he says he would know if he was on fire, and he'd be running around screaming for help. Then he tells me to leave him alone. I go back to hunting bugs, and then I come across a hat store, but at this time I'm not interested in buying any hats. I finally catch my 4 different bugs that I need, and drive down to the beach house, where I hand them over to the chef, and he makes the burger, and says this one's on the house. Then he tells me he's buried some treasure along the beach, where the people are sunbaking. I thank him, and off I go. I start to make my way over to the junk buried in the beach, but I can't see Burning Bernie anymore. As I head over to his spot, he's just a pile of ash. I grab his sunglasses that he's left behind and put them on. Damn, I look cool. Then I head over to the buried canister and collect my junk. After that, I head back to the apartment where I find a letter from Mum and Dad. I go into my room and feed my fish, and go sit on the couch and relax for a bit, before I get back out there and find more junk.
Achievement unlocked. Achievement unlocked.
I leave the apartment building and get in my car and head to the hat shop to buy my first hat.
Achievement unlocked.
And then I go buy all of them. I leave the hat shop. Close by there are some metal mushrooms. I jump on top of them and I get a wind chime. That's weird.
Unlocked.
Close by is the pet store. I go inside to see all the little pets jumping up and down. I ask the owner for a walking pet, but the owner says it's a great responsibility. She asks if I want a gummy pup, and I can have it for free, if I can find all the blueprints. She says they're just like walking pets, but they're safe. She says she doesn't have any at the moment, but if I bring her the blueprints, she can produce some. I leave the pet store and go back to collecting more money and find more junk lying around the place when I come across a shady character. His first words he says is he's a criminal and he's looking for ways to make money, but he's strictly against violence and threats of violence. That's a different kind of criminal indeed. He asks if I would like to engage in some criminal activities with him, and I say, okay. He asks me what we should do, and I say, you're the criminal, you tell me. Then he tells me to come back to him when I have an idea. I go back to catching bugs and digging up more money and collecting more turbo junk. Then I find a hidden wind chime in the middle of the park. Then I grab a car and take it back to our friend at the apartment block, and he takes the car off my hands and he splits the profits with me. After that, I have enough money that I can go buy the junk detector hat at the junk store. This should make it easier to find junk all around the place. As I get closer to junk, the hat beeps, and when I'm right on top, it rapidly goes off. I listen for the beeps on the hat, collecting more and more turbo junk. I find a sewer nearby next to the beach, where I find a blueprint flying around inside. I get my net out and catch the blueprint. I'll keep it for later for the pet store owner. I get back to my car and drive back to the pet store and hand in 2 gummy pup prints. I pull one out of my pocket and it follows me around. Around the corner I find another junk place and it has the same items as Jack, but I still don't have enough money for what I want. I search around town and I come across a laundry house. Inside is full of dryers and washers, and the owner says they are really magical. So I hand over 15 money and stare at the washing machine.
Achievement unlocked.
It spins around and it shows me a place where junk might be. I'll keep that spot in mind for later. I drive around the town looking for more blueprints, money, and turbo junk. I climb up one of the hills in the desert. I find another gummy pup blueprint. I keep driving around and I come across Ricky, but Ricky doesn't like me and he challenged me to a bumper car battle. He defeats me in the bumper car battle, but I'll get him next time. While I'm here, I go back into the job application center and talk to the pretty receptionist. I tell her that I'm in love with her, and I ask her out to dinner, and she says she'll think about it. I try to impress her. I tell her I have a lifetime supply of fries down at the beach house. And she replies she doesn't really enter that part of town. I tell her that I have fries on me. I hand them over. She tries them, but hands them back. I also tell her that I invented a new recipe, and I let her try the bug buns.
Achievement unlocked.
After the food, she tells me about some junk she buried and marks it on my map. I head back out and go to the mayor's office, where I find everybody in a meeting. They're all panicking and worrying. I check the other office and I find some documents floating around. I grab out my net, grab those documents, and I think they're government secrets. I take those documents over to the criminal and show him. He asks how I acquired these documents, and I say I just walked in and grabbed them, no violence. I give him the documents and he reads them over. And he says the government's in great debt and he's going to extort them for money. He asks if I'd like to split the reward, and I say I'd like something up front. He tells me about some junk that's buried, and that's good enough for me, and gives me 500 money. I go to the spot marked on the map and uncover the canister. I grab all the junk and head to Jack to buy the baseball bat and a paraglider. Next, I drive over to the school to find another canister of junk and then go on a rampage hitting people with my pipe.
Unlocked.
I run into Ricky again as I'm finding junk. I guess we're going back into another bumper car battle.
Unlocked.
This time I won't let him win. We try to hit each other and he hits me first, but I'm not defeated yet. I managed to hit him twice and win the battle, and I'm sure we'll meet again.
Achievement unlocked.
I find another blueprint on the highway. I try to catch the blueprint without getting hit and finally grab it. I finally find the 4 wind chimes and head back to the metal mushrooms. I place them in their holders, and then I hear a voice. I turn around and it's the yoga instructor. He thanks me for the selfless act, and I unlock inner peace.
Achievement unlocked.
While I'm close by, I go back to the pet store and hand in the blueprints. I think I just need 1 or 2 more. I find another hat store downtown, buy a few more hats, and head back outside to go find some more turbo junk and the last blueprint. While I'm exploring, I go back to the car shop and add 8 more turbo upgrades to my car. Man, this thing's gonna be fast.
Achievement unlocked.
I get back in my car and go to the pet store and hand over the last of the blueprints. Now I have all the gummy pups.
Achievement unlocked.
From the pet store, I head to the government to see if they'll talk about their debt. They say the government is in debt, currently 999 million money. They ask if I can contribute, and I say all I have is 183 money. But they say, did you add 3 zeros? They say all the money that goes into the government account, they add 3 zeros. That's weird. I tell them if we add 6 zeros, we could pay the debt off faster. They say that could work, and come talk to them when they contribute more money. All I need is another 816 money, and we can pay off the government debt. I go back to exploring, and I run back into Ricky, and he still wants a bumper car battle with all the turbos I've got on my car now. Ricky has no chance of defeating me, and after defeating him again, I go back to exploring and saving up money to pay off that government debt. After digging, smashing, and selling cars, I finally have enough money to go to the hat store and buy all the hats, and still enough to go pay off the government debt.
Achievement unlocked.
After my fun, I go to the government house and hand in the money for them to pay off the debt.
Achievement unlocked.
And as a reward, they allow me to have one of their hats. I take the top hat from the government official, and I ask if I could be a government official. They say I'm a little too young to join, but after I finish school, come back to talk to them. Now I'm back on the hunt for the last turbo junk I need, and I find the last of it on an island in the middle of the water. Now all that's left is to get into my car and drive into space.
Achievement unlocked.
I go to the Sky Tower and line up my car with the road. I put on my race helmet and start the turbos and drive up the road, pushing my car to its limits.
Achievement unlocked. Congratulations. 100% complete. You've unlocked all achievements.
Masam